Good blessed Wednesday night, March the 5th, 2025. It's about 9 o'clock p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say or produce. That's your prerogative. You have a First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to protest, freedom to gather, freedom to associate. And that's what I do. Freedom of speech, freedom to protest, and freedom of press. As long as you're doing it in a peaceful manner. Now, if you're a felon, you want to check in your local areas to make sure that felons can be able to do some of the above things or all of the above things that I just mentioned. Because some places felons can't do it. But you know, our United States president, he's a felon, a sex offender. You can go on and on. The same with some of the so-called leaders here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. But I ain't going to get off into that. Also, if you on probation or parole, you want to check with your probation or your parole officer to make sure you'll be able to do some of all the above things that I just mentioned. You don't want to violate your probation or your parole. But now, what I want to talk about tonight is bullying. You know, you got bullying going on a lot of places. But I want to talk about bullying here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, in the Charleston R-1 school district. It's been happening for years. You see, you have what you got, the NAACP. I was an NAACP member for a while. My daughters, they let theirs lapse. They card lapse about maybe 2 or 3 years ago because they seen that the NAACP wasn't doing anything. This year, I let mine lapse. I don't want to be a part of the NAACP. Now, you have some NAACP members and some NAACP state conference presidents like the one here in the one in the state of Missouri. He's doing his job. The national chapter, he's not doing his. And a lot of the other ones is not doing theirs, especially here in Southeast Missouri. I don't see nothing that they doing, but I ain't gonna even talk about that. But what I want to talk about is the bullying. Now, people criticize me, black and white, when I put stuff up. When I put stuff up about the discrimination, the way the police put up crime scene tapes, black and white, they have something to say about it. But yet, they ain't gonna say nothing about, you don't hear none of them talking about when people, white and black, is being killed in the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Detention Center. You ain't gonna hear none of them saying that, but you're gonna hear me. You ain't gonna hear nobody saying nothing about when you have the shootings out here, but you'll hear me. But I want to let y'all see something. Let's start with today. I was up in the courthouse today because a murder trial was going on, and then they had some other cases going on in another courtroom. And they wasn't letting people up at first, and the security guy downstairs and everybody, the prosecuting attorney, the judge, everybody know who I am. They know what I am. I'm a journalist. I report stuff that other people don't report. I criticize from the judges, prosecuting attorney, but they don't bar me from coming in there. You see what I'm saying? They don't call the National Guards and say, get Raymond Lewis Ivory out of there. Now, I asked the security guy downstairs, he knew what I am. he said, you know, there's a lot of crowd up there, Mr. Ivy. I said, yeah. I said, I just want to go in. You know me, I'm a journalist, an activist. I want to sit in on court. He said, you can go on head up. I went up. Went in the hallway. I seen a captain from the Mississippi County Sheriff Department that just retired after 30-something years. But he works in the courthouse as security. Now, the man downstairs, white, told me it's okay for me to go up. The security guy that stopped people with a metal detector and all that. He got a lot of other people that he won't let up. I asked the captain and another sheriff deputy and a police officer, is it okay that I go in the courtroom? And they said, yeah. Now, it's always a Negro, a black man, that work in the sheriff department, and he's not a sheriff deputy, because there ain't no black sheriff deputies in the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department here in Charleston, Missouri. What he do is he transport inmates. You see what I'm saying? He know me well. I'm walking towards the courtroom, get right by the courtroom, and he grabbed my arm, and I said, man, what's going on? He said, I don't know if you can go in there. I looked at him, and I started to say, Negro, what are you putting your hand on me for in the first place? And I said, who is you to tell me you transport prisoners? You ain't got shit to do with this. I just passed the captain from the sheriff department that told me it was okay. The man downstairs told me it was okay. And then he said, well, let me go ask the captain, the same man that just told me I can. But let me show you how God worked it on this Negro. The white captain told him it's okay, but before he can tell him, guess who came out of the courtroom? The prosecuting attorney, the female. She wasn't prosecuting that case because the case had been transferred from Sykeston to Charleston. But she made this Negro look like a fool, and the white captain made him look like a fool. She said, come on in, Raymond. Ain't that something? And I wondered how that Negro, I wonder how he felt. That's how these Negroes here is in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. When people get murdered and I do my investigation, they say, oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then you must have been in the house when this person allegedly killed themselves. But I'm going to leave that alone. Let me get back to the bullying. I just want y'all to show y'all how these Negroes is down there. He know who he is. You see what I'm saying? He know who he is. It made him look real bad. You see what I'm saying? Because these white folks that he be kissing their ass, I don't have to kiss their ass. If they wrong, I'm going to talk about them. If they black and wrong, I'm going to talk about them. Those of y'all say I'm racist, you are lying, the truth ain't in you. Those that say I'm violent, you are lying, the truth ain't in you. But let me show you this here. Now, let's go back to this bullying. And had black and whites recently then told me how their young child, barely 15, being bullied, and they complain about him, black and white now. One of them had to take their child out of school and start homeschooling. I had to do that. When my daughters finished kindergarten and first grade, I took them out because the police resource officer back then in the 2010 and 2011 and 2012 school year, Brenda Bifford, still the school resource officer, refused to write a police report when my daughter made a complaint about a white bus driver having on the bus by herself. But I'm going to leave that alone for right now. That's no police report. Whether it's substantiated or not, it's supposed to be a police report. She said she didn't make now because the then transportation director of transportation for the Charleston R-1 school district, who works for the Charleston R-1 school district for the buses, she said I talked to him, he was black. And I thought he was going to handle that. He don't handle nothing when a parent saying a bus driver done abused a child. The police supposed to handle that. But I'm going to leave that alone. But why is these people forced to have to take their child out of school because the school won't do nothing? Then the school want to take them to court for not having a child in school. Who want their child to keep going to school and they're being bullied? Then y'all got a habit of sending them to places for counseling that work hand in hand with the school to try to make it as if the parents doing something. Y'all wondering why, I think it was last year, a young 14-year-old came up there with a gun because he was tired of being bullied. He didn't shoot nobody. The gun went off. He didn't shoot nobody, but he was tired of being bullied. That's why I took mine out. You see what I'm saying? Y'all criticized me, but when I took mine out, they didn't participate in a damn thing in Charleston, Missouri. No type of programs in Charleston, Missouri. They never been in the juvenile system. They never been in the adult system. The only time they went in the courtroom is when I took them there in the summertime to sit in to watch the cases. The judges and prosecuting attorney, they know them well, and I criticized them. But me and the judge still talk. I criticized the prosecuting attorney, but we still talk. She's let that Negro know Raymond can come up in here. He ain't no threat up in here like the housing authority said I am. Lester Gillespie and his daughter say I am. Some of these other people like Rodney Jones going to some of the black business people saying that I'm a threat. I ain't no threat to none of them. The only time I'm a threat is this mind of mine and this mouth of mine speaking the truth. But let me tell you this here. Now, these people is complaining about bullying. They not the only two people. It's many more. It's some white friends of mine that I've been knowing since I've been down here, since 1996. We worked at Boomland together. The husband and wife, they white. They used to drive the school buses a few years back. Maybe about 6, 7, 8 years back, maybe not even that far back. They came to me when their son was about 8 years old. He was in the locker room and the coach grabbed his private. They complained about it, and guess what? They told them if they continue to complain, they gonna take their job as bus drivers. You know what they did? They quit driving the buses for the Charleston R-1 school district and went down to East Prairie, and their child successfully graduated. Same ages as my two children, my two daughters. But you ain't gonna see no records of that. You ain't gonna see no records of that. You ain't gonna see the NAACP, Lester Gillespie, Rodney Jones, both of them former presidents of the NAACP. You ain't gonna see them complaining because they working hand in hand with these corrupted law enforcement officials. If you ain't corrupted, don't let it bother you. If you ain't racist, don't let it bother you. If you ain't none of these sellout Negroes, don't let it bother you, because you got plenty of you sellout Negroes up here. But I know that one Negro, I want you to look at this real good. How you feel when them white folks that you work for, that I criticize, told you to get your damn hand off of that man. Come on in here, Raymond. And the prosecuting attorney and the captain told you. The man downstairs gave me permission. You don't have no authority in there. You's a house Negro watching to make sure ain't no Negroes escaping. Do your job. I ain't no a Negro that's held captive. You can't get my mind and you can't get my body. But let me tell y'all this here. It been bullying and crimes going on in the Charleston R-1 school district for decades. But you ain't gonna get no complaints from the NAACP. None of these black preachers, they'll tell you what they done did 30 or 40 damn years ago. You see what I'm saying? You will see them doing them damn Black History programs at 700 South William Street or 700 Elm Street, doing all these damn Black History programs, but that don't mean a damn thing what you doing. What is you doing now with what's going on? Not a damn thing. Y'all excuse my language, but I can get worse than that. But let me just finish this here off and let you know, let y'all see this here. It's bullying going on in the Charleston R-1 school district. Black and white children is being bullied. To prevent it, all of you parents whose children's been bullied, y'all go to the administrator. Y'all go to that school board. Y'all go to them people and complain. Make Brenda Bickford do her job, the school resource officer. If they ain't gonna press no charges on nobody, tell them you want a field report, a report to show that you made that complaint, a complaint that they didn't put down when it happened to my daughters. But I got document proof how Brenda Bickford, the Black Director of Transportation, and some of them other sellout blacks, how they tried to hide it. It's only one person in the Charleston R-1 school district that spoke up for my two daughters and protected my two daughters until I allowed them to finish the first grade and the kindergarten in there, and that's Miss Holly Rowland, a white woman. So y'all that said I'm prejudiced, she stood up. And I appreciate her. If she's still alive, I appreciate you. I honor you. I honor you for Black history. I don't honor none of these damn black people down here for Black history because they ain't doing a damn thing for the blacks. Now, I'm going to leave this here. Those of y'all that don't like what I'm putting up, or if you said what I'm putting up is false, then put your own shit up. You see what I'm saying? Those of y'all that said I'm prejudiced, you asked the lady in East Prairie, Missouri, and her daughter, and her husband, and some of their friends, am I prejudiced when I spoke up against Barry Morgan approaching her daughter, telling them to go home, cussing them out because one of his friends, a farmer's son, shot and killed these people, dog, unjustifiable. Ask the other female when I stood up against Brent Douglas, when he shot and killed her dog, a white female. Ask the white people whose father, whose uncle, whose relative that got killed, what they claim hung himself in the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Jail here in Charleston. Ask them, am I prejudiced? I speak up for anybody that's afraid to speak up. I speak up for anybody who have family members that don't live here, and they live here, like the little young girl, the 18-year-old girl on January the 25th, who they claim self-inflicted, shot herself in the face unintentionally. The family don't believe that. The real family don't believe that. I'm going to leave y'all with this here. Get y'all stuff in order. Start using your cameras. If you have information and scared to give it, you're scared to confront the people, tell it to me. I ain't scared of these people. They can't do nothing to me that God won't allow them to do. Y'all know who Nehemiah was? I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all know who Moses was? I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all knew who David was? See, I'm going up against Goliath. Goliath offered David his shield. Goliath is a giant. David was real small. David didn't take his shield for two reasons. One, God had already equipped him with something to take the giant down that the giant thought that was a joke. He looked at a slingshot and a rock versus his big sword versus him being multiple times taller than David. And he looking at this big shield he got. He told David, you can get my shield and laughed. David wasn't going to take that shield because the shield was bigger than David. But that giant came down. My dad told me about Adolf Hitler. He tried to take over the world like Trump and Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, and some of these other Ku Klux Klans. But all of them going to fall down. Rodney Jones, you can keep going to the black businesses telling them, y'all don't fool with me. When you tell some of them y'all, they wondering who you talking about when y'all, when you talking about y'all. You see, some black businesses, they talk to me. You see what I'm saying? Those that ain't sellouts. But I'm going to leave with this here, y'all. Y'all as weak as y'all allow yourself to be. Satan only has the power of suggestion. Satan is weak. Lester weak. Trump weak. Elon Musk is weak. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't kill himself. Trump and Obama and them had him killed because he was finna expose them. Peace be still. Now I want y'all to listen to this 15-second video. It was made September the 12th, 2023. Now Brenda Bifford, who won't do nothing about these complaints about these bullyings, about some of these coaches grabbing hold to some of these males' penises, that wouldn't do nothing about this white bus driver, what he did to my child. It don't make no difference if he was black, Spanish, or whatever else. But wouldn't do nothing about that. Listen how she's interrogating some of the black 13 and 14-year-old children, telling them she can have the feds do him like they did to JV, whatever these young guys that they got here in Charleston, Missouri, saying that they was gangs and got them for the RICO Act. Listen to the way she tried to interrogate them, telling them about how the feds get them. But she won't tell you her nephew is doing time right now for murder, selling an individual, giving an individual some fentanyl that killed him, and he left him there. He got out on appeal, came here in Charleston, Missouri from St. Genevieve, Missouri, and worked for the public health, the city public works. While he was out on appeal, Brenda Bifford and her family, they stood up for him. They didn't say nothing about how he was selling fentanyl and heroin. He said, he told the judge he didn't know it was fentanyl in there. It was heroin. And he said, I didn't sell it to him. We traded. He gave me some weed and I gave him heroin. The judge told him, you sold it to him. If you gave him weed for, and he gave you weed for heroin, whether you knew fentanyl was in there or not, you sold it to him. Brenda Bedford ain't gonna tell y'all that. And these house Negroes ain't gonna tell y'all that neither. That's what's wrong with Charleston, Missouri now. White supremacy is not powerful. It's these Negroes that y'all study letting lead y'all. All you got to do is just look around. These individuals that y'all call y'all leaders, all they doing is getting rich. The community ain't nothing happening with the community. Y'all stand up. Y'all, when your kids is getting bullied, come to Triple R. KFVS 12 ain't gonna report it, but Triple R will. Peace be still.
Understand doing this all in law enforcement laws. We will put you in a database, which means even the feds will have your names. So like the JDMs when they went down, yeah.
Mississippi County Sheriff. No, that's the Charleston Police Department. I'm hoping, let's see what's going on. Which way are they going here? Going over the bridge. So it must be something happening on the I-57 northbound. They didn't go over the viaduct, which is boom land. Let me ride my bike down and check it out. It's my type of work, y'all. Saving lives.